Hi, I'm Lenore,
I'm Anna.
I'm Katerina.
and we are the juniors. For today's video, we have a special guest, Jodi Langoni. Hi, Jodi.
Hi.
First thing I want to say is present yourself. Tell me a little bit more about you and how do you start doing pageants?
So I'm Jodi Langoni. I'm your Junior Miss Texas Belleza Latina, and I was your Miss Preteen Galaxy International 2019. I'm a 12-year-old. I'm in 7th grade, and I started doing pageants by first modeling, and I just saw someone do it, and I thought it was fun, so I just went for it.
So, Katerina and then I have some questions for you. So, Katerina, do you want to start?
Yeah, I want to start to know how do your family react when you say that you want to be a pageant girl and start the pageants?
So when we first saw the lady that Texas Galaxy, Lupita, my director, she presented to my modeling company, or where I would model, my modeling school, and my mom was there with me, and I saw the crown and everything, and I was like, all these girls are saying that it's so cool and it's so fun. And at that time, I was a tomboy. I had the messiest hair. Nobody even believed me I was a model at all. And then I talked to my mom about it, and she actually knew Lupita from high school, and she talked to her. And then I told my dad, and they were very supportive. He was like, well, you have nothing to do, so this will definitely keep you occupied. So yeah, they're just very supportive.
And do you want to do your question?
So I want to know how many pageants did you do before your actual title?
So Galaxy was my very first pageant. When I first did Texas, I was confused. I thought I lost, and I was like, yeah, it's okay. But I actually won, and everybody was like, cheering, and I was like, what happened? So Texas was my first pageant, and now Belleza Latina is my second pageant.
Oh.
So my first question for you is, how do you describe yourself in one word?
Let's see. I would describe myself in one word as maybe, let me see. Outgoing. Outgoing. Because once you get to know me, I can be very fun and very interesting too. I'm a party girl. I love to party. And I'm very I love to talk to people, and I love to interact. So I have a big personality. That's what a lot of people say, is that I have a big personality and I'm really mature for my age. So that's how I would describe myself.
Katerina, do you have more questions?
Yeah, so you are very funny and a party girl. So tell me, do you remember some funny moments on Galaxy that you can tell us?
Yes, so for the white party, that was a humongous big party. I had an amazing time. I made a lot of new friends with people that I was even competing with. To this day, I still talk to, for example, Sasha Banks. We have contact with each other. I made a lot of new friends from all over the world. I would say a moment that I would definitely remember from my Galaxy was when I went to the UK. I had an amazing time there with everyone. I loved to see girls just model, and let's see. I also liked going to the castles, and I was like even dancing in the middle. I was like a crazy person, right? And I was like, yeah, let's do this. And then my mom's like, Jodi, stop it, calm down. But I think that was like the best time, because the farthest I've ever traveled was Chicago, and that's not really far from here. And all the way to the UK is like crazy. So that was the most fun time there for sure.
Yeah.
Anna, can you do your second question?
Yeah, so my second question is, who is your role model on pageants?
So A person that I definitely look up to is May Perry. She was the junior Miss Galaxy International, my sister queen. And I look up to her a lot. She's like my big sister. We almost contact each other at least every single day. I mean, especially with time schedules, since we're 6 hours away, we can't really talk. But definitely, I look up to her because she is a very pretty girl, very confident, very passionate, and very kind too. So yeah.
So my second question for you is, did your friends accept well the fact that you're competing in beauty pageants?
So some friends really didn't believe it at all. They thought that I was joking. Other friends were like, "Oh my gosh, it's like really cool." Like they were kind of confused. A lot of friends were supportive, which were my closest friends, and they really just kind of stuck with me to this day. They call me the model too, so I guess it's just perfectly okay. But yeah, so they're very supportive.
Katerina, can you do your question?
Yeah, so what is your feeling when you are on the stage with the big dresses, everything done, makeup, hair? What do you feel?
Okay, so whenever I step foot on that stage, I first have like one shock, like of butterflies in my stomach. And like, I'm like, ugh. And then that's when I'm like, I can't see anything because of the bright lights. So I'm like, you know what? I'm modeling by myself. And so then I just keep walking and I'm just doing my thing and I'm just having a great time, not even realizing that there's a crowd. And I'm just like, yeah, let's do this. So I kind of do get nervous at some points, depending on at that time. But that's like very little. Most of the time, I do like to walk on stage and confident. But crowning moments is a nerve time where it's like the worst for me.
Anna, can you do your question?
Yeah, but like it's not a question. It's just a lot of people think that beauty pageants is just for beauty persons. Do you agree?
I definitely don't agree at all because girls are beautiful inside and out. And I really think that beauty pageants should be for everyone. And just because you think that you're not pretty enough doesn't mean that you can't qualify either. There's a lot of people who are very insecure, which I try to at least maybe get them out of their shell so they can at least have different opportunities to start with. So before I started pageants, I was a very shy girl too, and my dad was actually the person to get me into modeling, which is very surprising because that's my dad. So he's a very funny dude, and I think I kind of look up to him too in the aspect of personality way. I normally try to get people out of their shell so they can have different opportunities. And so maybe they can become bigger and they can spread it too. So I kind of try to do that. Yeah.
So my other question for you is, have you some advice to give for the girls who want to be like beauty queens and competing in beauty pageants?
Okay, so what I would give as advice and for girls who want to be beauty queens is that it doesn't matter how you look and it doesn't matter how other people look. And just always to be confident, and to the people who you're competing with, don't see them as enemies at all. See them as friends. Get to know them. Don't be shy at all. And also just be yourself, be confident, and don't be someone that you're not, because then the judges will obviously see that. And it's not always about how pretty you are and how they're just judging you. It's about why you're doing it for a reason, and be yourself.
Katerina, can you do your question?
Yeah, so what do you feel? What is your reaction when you won the international title?
So when they were calling the top 3 and top 5, my hands like were sweating, and if you see in the video, I like looked down like this with my hands because my dress was satin and I didn't want my dress to get stained at all. So then it was me and Larissa, and that also happened at Texas Galaxy, and I just had a meltdown at that time. I don't even know why. I just had mixed emotions, and then when they called my name, like I almost fell. I got lightheaded because I was just amazed because I was just like, this is my first pageant and I'm coming this far. And you just don't believe it for probably like 5 days. You just don't believe it at all. And then the rest, you're like, oh, okay, I can kind of get used to this. But it's very nerve-wracking. That's definitely one thing.
Anna, do you have more questions?
So, did you have some phrase that inspire you for be good on pageants world?
Was it phrases, right? You said phrases?
Yeah.
I would say always just be you. I've always looked up to that because I think if you're not someone if you're not showing your own personality, then what's the point? Like, you're not having fun at all. You're just being someone that you're not at all, and you're just being a fake. That's what I would say, a fake. And for pageants, I've definitely looked up to myself too, as not being someone I was. At first, I was not even myself nearly. I was like, oh, let me transition to a random girl, and I wasn't Jodi. So definitely be you and just be confident. That's what the two most things I definitely look up to for girls too.
If you could change something in the world, what will be and why?
I would say from a girl that's been bullied many times, I would say don't judge by the appearance of someone, because I have been bullied in the past before I did start modeling the pageants. And if so if you are bullied, like, speak up. Well, I never did. And so I would definitely say never to judge people by their appearance. And just because they might look different on the outside doesn't mean that they're any different on the inside. Maybe you could be friends. And it's just sad how now these days people judge people just from the outside. For example, sometimes I get caught a lot just going like this, and people are like, oh, she's mean. Like, it's just how you have to not think of how they look at you or anything, because maybe they don't mean it at all. So I would definitely say don't judge a book by its cover.
Katerina, do you have more questions?
Yeah, actually, I have one. It's um, have someone did something to you that you know that you will never forget, or say something to you, or done something to you that you know this will be for me to all of my life. I will never forget that.
Yes. So my modeling coach, she told me, because when I was barely starting, she told me that there are some people who are very rude, and we do have a world like that. And she told me that I have a golden heart, which means like I'm very sweet and I'm a truthful person. And once I got told that, I was I felt very good about myself. I felt like, oh my gosh, maybe I could be an inspiration to others. And then I just kind of went on from that. And I also really, it kind of just stuck with me. I was very happy with it. So I guess I could definitely say that stayed up with me for maybe the rest of my life right now.
And do you have more questions?
Yeah, I have more one. So, how did you react when you know that your system removed the internationals for the next year?
So at first, I kind of reacted as surprised and also a relief, because with this whole deadly virus, I was personally scared once it first came out. And then I was like, wait, what about the pageant? What about this? What about that? And then when they said that they were going to postpone it, I felt very good, because I know that I was going to be safe. My parents are going to be safe. Other girls are going to be safe, which I think what Maria did was an amazing decision, because she's just trying to keep us safe, and we don't want the virus either. And we're coming all from different countries, and it's just not safe for us at all. And then I was very surprised too, because I was I don't know. I just had like this spark of surpriseness. And when my mom told me, I was just like, whoa, like this is actually happening. Because when it first sparked, I was in spring break of school. My backpack was cleaned out. And then now my backpack's never going to be dirty because I never took it back to school. And so it was just very fast, especially for me, because I was just like, oh, we're not going to school for maybe a week. Now 5 months, 4 months. It's crazy. So it was kind of a little bit hard to process, but yeah.
So I have one more question for you. Is what do you learn from Galaxy International and Galaxy Pageants?
So definitely what I learned from is socializing with other girls. And before I did start pageants, I was very shy. And when I went to Orlando, same, shy. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I was just like, I don't know anyone. I can't talk to them. It's fine. It's fine. And then once everything just happened slowly, I just started talking to people. And I think definitely whenever someone would go to, I think Galaxy's the first thing I would go to because it's like my own little family. I have friends there. I have Maria. I look up to her. She's like my mom. Her daughter Adi, she's like my bigger sister. It's like a whole other family, and I just feel very welcome there. And I'm glad that Galaxy does that because there's just some pageants where like you're just gonna be competing and you get a crown and sash for whoever wins. And I'm glad that we at least have a sisterhood. And for example, what we're doing now, that we're all communicating with each other. So yeah.
Katerina, do you have more questions?
Yeah, I have more one question for you. Is pageants, especially Galaxy and Belleza Latina, provide you to meet a lot of new persons, make a lot of new friends and a new family. How do you feel about it?
I feel amazed. I've never thought I could have this many friends from all over the world. I never even thought I could get people out of Texas here. With Galaxy and Belleza Latina, I was very happy, especially once I got to talk to people because I felt like I wasn't alone, and I hope they didn't feel like that either. And I just kind of also looked up to a lot of people, and I could tell that it's just a fun time. I could tell that we all just had an amazing time, and I think that's like what makes Galaxy Galaxy and Belleza Latina Belleza Latina. Right now, I mean, we don't have any white party with Belleza Latina, but I am talking to, for example, Julissa, the Junior Miss South Texas Belleza Latina. So it's kind of like that. But yeah, so hopefully I can make now new memories with Belleza Latina since I'm barely starting it. But Galaxy definitely, you get to meet a lot of new people, and it's just amazing.
Yeah.
So you did some appearance. What was your favorite?
Say my favorite appearance would be whenever I do Blue Up Day. So that's like whenever I support no bullying and anti-bullying. Due to since I have been through the shoes of being a person that was being bullied, I would say that's my favorite day because I get to show that people, just because you're taking anger out of someone else doesn't mean that it's right at all, and you have to think about if you're in their shoes. But also, I would say another appearance that I really did like is whenever I would go to hospitals and I would give back to children. You just see the bright smiles off their faces whenever you come into the room. It's amazing. You give them a little cute goodie bag, and they're sick, and they just smile, and you just know that you definitely made their day. And I think that's one of the best because you know that you're definitely helping the society.
Katerina, do you have more questions?
Yeah, actually, I want to know, do you have some idea how many appearances do you have done?
So for Galaxy, I know for sure I did about almost near 100, I think. And then for Belleza Latina, since I haven't gotten a left time, I don't even know how much I did. But I know, I mean, I can't even count. But for sure, I'm going to say with Belleza Latina and Galaxy combined, I think I would at least made for sure 100. But maybe without Galaxy, maybe about 25, maybe higher. I think 50. I love to do. I love to help giving back, especially I donate a lot of clothes too since I'm growing. But I love giving back to people, so I think that's why I have a lot. But it's just also really kind and nice. So yeah.
And do you have more questions?
Yeah, I have more one. Like, we are from Galaxy System, and your actual title is Junior Miss Texas Belleza Latina. So, can you describe this system in one word?
Oh, okay. In one word. Wow, that's very hard. Let me see. Okay, so I would say powerful. Because Belleza Latina, it's with the Latina culture. It's very powerful because it shows women empowerment, especially with the single moms. I think that's an amazing thing that Maria did because, I mean, come on, single moms do everything every single day, and it's just astonishing on how they're by themselves. And I would say the Latina culture is very powerful. It's just they come all together. So I would say the Latina, Belleza Latina, all the girls come together and they all make one whole group. And I would say it's just kind of a team. We're a team.
Katerina, do you have more questions?
I guess no.
Anna, do you have more questions?
I don't have more.
So I don't have more anymore. So I think it's it. So thank you, Jodi, for being with us, talk with us. So don't
Thank you
forget
so
to
much.
subscribe, like the video, share with your friends who like pageants, and follow Jodi on Instagram, follow Anna, Katerina, and me on Instagram, and our page now with the juniors. So bye.
Bye.
Bye.